In this one, what I want to do is have a few subdivisions here along this vertical corner, okay? And I'm just gonna do that by hand real quick. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3. You know what? Let's do it this way. Try not to have subdivisions right on the horizon line. You want to keep that and your other construction completely separate. As a rule, that's how I like to do things. It saves a lot of confusion. I don't like running construction lines along with, I don't like to have them mixed up like that. So let's just do this. It's going to be imperfect. So let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And then 5, 6, I guess, with the top and bottom. That's already in there, so you get the gist. All right, so my vanishing point. Let's use this vanishing point. So let's say I have those subdivisions. So basically from vanishing point 2, I project these horizontal lines. You know what, let me use a color. There's a color for that, so let's get rid of that. I love this eraser, but I have to be careful because it has a nice grip on the paper. And if you're not holding it properly, you could rip your sheet or have it fold in a way that you don't like. Yeah, let's use blue again. Like so. Alright. Project that line out. And so we have our horizontal subdivisions along that wall. Okay? Now, if you remember from when I was drawing the ellipse, so I can have an ending to the wall there. So just going back to when I had like the full rectangle and I wanted to draw a complete ellipse, what I did was I connected the two corners, and then, you know, I had that and that, and then I was able to draw my ellipse, right? So can you apply that here? Yes, you can. But let's look at how that turns out, how that'll turn out. So I'm going to go from this corner to the other corner, just one line. There's only one line that's necessary, because now we're trying to get the vertical lines of that wall, vertical divisions of that wall. Okay, so let's look at what happens. So when you follow the vertical line up, wherever it intersects with the horizontal line, you make a mark, like so, all the way up to the top. All right, and then you come with your ruler, and where it makes that intersection, you drop a perpendicular vertical line until you get to the end of that wall. But let's look at what's happening though. Look at what's happening. Look at how wide those divisions are, right? I'm not crazy about those at all. Now, what you can do is come here and sub along the vertical corner here. You can subdivide that a little further, and that will in turn break this up and give you smaller divisions. Okay, you can try that, or if you like this wider spread, hey, you can work with that too. I'm not crazy about this technique. I'm sure there are some times when I'll just probably use it just to use it, but in terms of a grid, a strong, tight grid, I'm not crazy about this at all. Okay, I'll probably use this for something else entirely, but not for a grid. Okay, so, and then let's say you've got this in place, so you've got your verticals now, you've got your horizontals. You can just extend these out using vanishing point 1 to hit these points and extend it out to this wall. All right, and then of course using vanishing point again, using vanishing point 1 again, hit these points, extend these lines out onto the floor, onto the ceiling, and then repeat this same process. Put a line here to mark the end of the wall, repeat the same process, and get your verticals. But the funny thing is that it'll look wonky. It will look kind of wonky. Okay, so give that a try. You know what? Let me go ahead and do it. Let the video be long. I'm feeling myself wanting to rush through this, so let me do that. What I just mentioned, let me do that quickly so that you can at least see it. And you know what? Let me switch to orange. All right, and go ahead. Okay, there. And so I'm going to come with this. Connect those two corners. Like so. And then let's look at where they intersect. So I'm going to go ahead. Let me start here and drop those perpendicular lines, those vertical lines. All right. And so you have your grid on this wall. You sort of have your grid on this wall. Extend these out onto the ceiling. Extend these out onto the floor, and then extend these out onto the ceiling, these out onto the floor, and then you'll get your grid on both these parts, right? Okay, let me set this aside and go to the next technique that I think works a little better.